Hello, everybody, and welcome to our first online class. I want to begin, first of all, going through the assignment example that we had started in class. Some of you may have started it, others may have not. This spreadsheet is a pretty close replication of what your assignment 2 will be. So this example can be found in eLearn under Contents, and go to the folder that says Production and Planning, and you will see an Excel spreadsheet there, BUSN 10124, Assignment 2 Example. Okay, and you can open that up. Now, when you open that up, you're going to see some multiple tabs across the bottom of the screen. Again, this is the way your assignment is going to be laid out. And this whole process and assignment and exercise is to walk you through how systems work in enterprise resource planning systems, from when things go from creating sales forecasts and demand forecasts all the way through the supply chain folks, into the production plans, and then finally into financial results. So I'm going to take you a quick walk through these tabs first and how everything works. I'm going to try and chunk these videos into sections so they don't go on for too long period of a time, to make it easier for you to go back and review specific examples when you need to. So our first tab here, we've got forecast. We've done this a number of times in class, and quite simply, we've got period numbers from 1 till 12, our months, and these were our historic sales. We'll say this was 2019. And this is where everything begins, not only in the project, but in real world situations, you've got to plan your sales. As we've done in class, and I will run through some more examples on these video tutorials on how to create forecast models using a 2-month moving average, a 4-month moving average, an exponential moving average, and then a linear forecast. Okay, so what you're going to be doing here is you're going to be creating your forecast, and then you're going to determine which one you determine is the best fit, and that will be the forecast that you will use for the rest of your assignment. As I mentioned in class a couple of weeks ago, there is only one instance where you have to make a copy and paste. And it's from this very first worksheet, and I'll get into that a little bit later on exactly how we will do that. But once you make your forecast and you select what you want to use, the forecast range that we are running, if we have a look here, runs from February to July. This is on our second tab. So once you create the forecast model that you find is the best fit, you would then just copy that forecast from February to July, and you would copy it and paste it special. Again, I will give you an example of exactly how to do that in later tutorials. So once you paste your forecast in here, from this point forward, you will not have to copy and paste any other additional information. I've set this spreadsheet up, so any information or data that you enter into these cells will automatically carry forward into the next worksheets. All right, so essentially what you're going to end up doing is you're going to be looking for anything that has a gray cell, a gray colored cell, and those are the cells that you're required to provide data with. If you try to click on any other cell, you won't be able to access it. I have password protected the worksheet so that you don't accidentally delete something. So on this second one, once you enter in your sales forecast, we have a selling price per unit of $275, and you're going to calculate the number of forecasts, or the number of units that are forecasted to sell. And it'll just be simple math. You'll just take your total sales minus the selling price per unit, and that will give you the total number of units that you're forecasted to sell. Your production plan will automatically fill in, as well as your inventory levels will adjust automatically as well. This next row, work days per month. So for each month here, we have a limited number of work days that our folks are working. So we have to take that into consideration when we're planning. And then below is capacity. So this capacity number represents the absolute maximum number of units that we are able to produce on a monthly basis. That capacity is limited by both our labor force as well as our space, could be financial capacity, and of course the machinery and everything that we have to use as well. Okay. The inventory is just simply our starting inventory plus our production plan minus the amount of units that we plan to sell, and then that would leave us a closing balance of our inventory. Okay, so this is the first part, and as we walk through this, again, I will give you more specific details. Once you determine what your total number of units are for each month that you need to produce, you'll then break that down. This particular example of this company that we're working on produces 3 items or 3 widgets. You'll see a percentage here. So widget A represents 45% of our total production, widget B represents 22%, and C represents 33%. So our production planned units here in February for widget A would simply be our total units forecasted multiplied by 45%, and that will give us our total number of units A and B and C. When you get these all calculated, you'll get a total here representing all three of the widgets. This total should balance to the total items per month. So if you get row 20, all these items per month, balancing your number of units forecasted to sell, you will know that you have properly allocated your production between 3 of these units. On the next tab, this is MPS, or our Master Production Schedule. You're asked to calculate the total number of daily units that are planned to be produced each month. B, you want to calculate the total number of daily units by each product line that are to be produced. Okay, so again, your sales forecast will automatically move over. Your selling price per unit is here. The number of units forecasted to sell, you will not have to calculate that again. You've already done that over here on the production worksheet. These numbers that you calculated here will automatically fill in, and then everything else will fill in here. Okay, and then what you're going to do here is you're going to calculate the total number of units you're going to produce each day. Okay, so that's just going to be your total production plan minus, or pardon me, divided by the work days per month. Okay, so whatever your production plan is for that month, the total number there, you're going to divide that by the work days per month, and that will tell you how many units for that particular month you'll be producing each day. And then we just go back down here. We have the same thing, our 3 widgets. So we know how many of total units we need to produce each day. Now what we want to do is figure out how many of each product line do we need to produce. So that's simply going to be a calculation of taking your total units times the total percentage here. And once again, these total units on this row should equal your calculation here of the total units produced daily. Don't get too caught up in taking notes on this video. This is just an overview, and I'm going to record some future sessions, the future tutorials. I'm going to walk through exactly how to calculate this. All right, so once we've got that figured out, then we will have our financial results. Okay, so we'll have our sales forecast, which will automatically fill in, as well as our units sold. And now we've got to figure out our standard costs. So we have here our direct materials per unit is $19, and our direct labor per unit is $26. So this data is simply going to be the number of units sold times 19 for our labor, number of units sold times 26, and that will give us our total standard cost. Then we will calculate our contribution margin, which is simply our sales, total sales minus our total standard costs. And then we'll have like a little income statement here. We'll total up our total expenses, which will include all these items as well as our total standard costs, and we can calculate our net income. And then lastly, on the last tab, we have financial results by product. So this gets down to a little bit more detail, and all the financial results that we calculated on the previous tab will carry over. And what we want to do here is we want to determine for each widget, A, B, and C, what is our contribution margin? In other words, how much profit are we making off of each of these units? And then once again, the very bottom set of data here, this will automatically fill in. And again, this is just a checkpoint. You want to make sure that all these items that are total down here, okay, align and match with that. So that's just a very quick overview. I'm going to break up the future video tutorials to show you how to calculate and move through this example project. And then from this point, once you're able to get through this, you shouldn't have any trouble at all working through your second assignment, which is also an Excel worksheet that replicates is very close to this. So once again, I will see you in future videos. Until then, please take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye.